Don't you just love finding one of these kind of trash horror movies that is based on true events? To me, these are the golden nuggets because you know they're not going to be amazing by any means. But since they're based on true events, the writers clearly had some kind of responsibility to be half decent at very best. Now this is a movie I had never heard of before, but I've got to give a shout out to Isaiah for putting this one firmly on my radar. So before we go any further, I think we can all collectively give a big round of applause to Isaiah for pushing the boundaries of that relationship just for the sake of cinema. So not only that, but he did also go on to promise that this movie was just lingerie and daddy issues. So you know what? I've got 3 reasons to go into this movie. What we're looking at today is Death Tunnel. Now whilst it is inspired by true events, looking them up, it is pretty messed up, to be honest with you. I won't cover them off just yet, but I won't leave you hanging because trust me, the movie likes to make a point very early on that this is true and it gives you a bit of the backstory. This movie's premise is pretty straightforward. We've got 5 young girls who go through an initiation test. They are told to spend the night in an asylum, and quite obviously being a horror, there might be some supernatural elements to it as well. So we've got an initiation, lingerie, death, daddy issues, and a bloody long tunnel. Without any further ado, let's just run through and break down Death Tunnel. We open up immediately on a cheery note just explaining Death Tunnel to us. I told you it wasn't long before the movie really just told you how it's true. In 1928 in Kentucky, there were 63,000 people killed due to white plague. Fun times. A monstrous sanatorium, aka a mental asylum, was built to isolate the infected. They got some experiments done to them to find a cure as well, so I mean, it wasn't a happy place with the death anyway, but there was some messed up stuff happening down here. They couldn't handle the amount of corpses they were turning over, so they built a huge tunnel to shift them all out and hide the real numbers of those who died. And what they built was the Death Tunnel. I just wanted to save you a little bit of reading there. We smash cut to the asylum and hey, the skyline looks better than Are You Scared at the very least, so far, this movie's one up on it. We've got this super clean gal on the run here. Now, in fairness, it looks like she has just came from the shower, so I'm willing to give her a pass on being far too clean for a horror movie. She's panicking, she finds a shard of glass, and she uses that tried and tested method of slash first, look second. We don't see the outcome from this incident, and we are then told that this is inspired by true events. They really want you to know that going into this movie. Looking it up for this video, because I always do like to know where the line is drawn between what is still true and then what is the movie. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think the events of this movie were true, but I just wanted to see how far it went. Now, whilst nothing that was said in that introduction was technically a lie, they've really leaned into the negative side of it, just to paint that scary image in your head. The tunnel was used for a lot more transport. It was actually used as a shelter during the wars, and if you're so inclined, you can go to Kentucky to go check it out as an attraction. So, true event, yes. As morbid as they're making out, well, debatable. We get some sketchy film reel intro footage zooming in way too close to the headlines and shots of the history here. Alongside that is this lovely shot of a car driving the long empty roads. The tone of this intro just absolutely switches up out of nowhere though. Like, holy fuck, that just slaps out of nowhere. We then hard break into Kentucky, 1932. The girl here wants to know where they are exactly, and the mum gives her a very hard answer.
What's that up there?
It's a terrible place. A place filled with sickness and suffering. Never go there. Do you hear me? Never.
Who died?
Fake out, did you think this movie was taking place in 1932? Of course not. Didn't have lingerie then. Well, maybe they did. Not our level anyway. Heather here's just drifting off in class and that was all in her head. They're learning all about the White Death, the White Plague, also known as the Romantic Disease apparently.
Some like to refer to it as the romantic disease. It took you when you were young and beautiful.
Jesus, that is a bit of a stretch to name it that, don't you think? This movie does call it the White Death, White Plague, and Romantic Disease kind of throughout the film interchangeably. I just thought you should know that before we go further. We see a car just rolling on through, and I swear I watched this a couple of times, that has to be a crew member in the back. Like, this place doesn't look like somewhere you can just walk to and wander about. Oh, and there is bad skylines here. I trusted you far too soon, movie. We now just cut about this abandoned facility and we see some weird imagery. It's more weird than creepy so far. Heather's friends catch up with her and I'm starting to notice a trend with the casting here. I can't quite put my finger on it. I must be blind to it. Some guy just teleports in and gives her a flyer. Where did he come from? I don't have a bloody clue watching this back.
Hi. Heather just transferred here from Danvers State.
But this is for some initiation and we then see blonde number 4. Back to the asylum in modern day and it looks like someone's wearing a makeshift gas mask sort of thing. Like that looks creepier than an actual gas mask. And after all this, we end on a CCTV room. Fuck yes, Isaiah, thank you for recommending this. All of the best horrors I've seen have a control room of some kind. The brunettes start grilling the blondes whilst they're planning party time. The film keeps cutting to slow motion at very weird times and I cannot explain why.
Okay, what the hell? We'll all go.
Like, it's not for moments of impact, it's not to show something in detail, it just does it. And I'll be honest, it does it throughout the whole movie. Back over to that gas mask girl and someone is talking to her over the comms.
Welcome to Truth or Scare, broadcasting live from the scariest place on Earth.
Fuck me, we've got another Saw-like narrator in this movie.
Each contestant will be blindfolded and placed on separate floors of this building. There they will be free to remove their blindfolds and explore the corridors if they dare.
Not gonna lie, when this happened, I was buzzing for the movie more. For the wrong reasons, of course, but I was well and truly buzzing for what this had in store. He does sound a bit too friendly though, doesn't he?
The rooms and corridors have been equipped with hidden cameras just to make sure there is no cheating.
Like, this situation is well and truly fucked, and he's just been very nice sounding about it. It's a very weird contrast.
The scariest place on Earth.
We've got very standard contestants, cameras everywhere, and everybody is understandably blindfolded. Cut to sexy party time, and my good man here is representing Scotland. Good movie so far. What is the theme in this party? Is it like pyjamas? Is it underwear? Is it sexy wear? I really can't tell. I watched this scene a couple of times just trying to work out the theme, and I'll be honest, I couldn't do it. That was the only reason I was watching it a couple of times. That's where my focus was. On a side note, who is up for coming to Kentucky with me? No idea why I want to go all of a sudden, but you know, it looks nice this time of year.
Evocative bedtime attire a mess.
We see this shifty man forget that he has a flip phone and he catches himself in the face. The cameras here look really cool, not gonna lie. I'm into them. They look awesome. It's like a Zelda weak spot type of camera. The guys have everything set, but we don't quite know for what yet.
According to plan, anybody could scare
The mean girls here start their turf war. Let's be honest, you knew this was coming eventually.
Nice outfit. Thanks. I'm Tori, this is Heather.
Back to the asylum and we are given the ground rules.
You cannot stay in one place for more than 1 hour. You must spend the entire 5 hours inside, no matter what happens.
It seems pretty straightforward so far. The rules do, I mean, the movie does keep jumping between like this party and then the actual asylum, but eventually we move over to the asylum full time, don't worry. The operator here though unfortunately meets his fate.
Remember, 5 floors, 5 girls, 5 hours.
Now we have this weird creepy effect when we're looking at the asylum. It's like an old PS1 standby screen or something like that. The announcer comes back with one final message.
I almost forgot. Did I mention 5 ghosts?
But Gob, that cannot be the announcer. You are correct. Good on you keeping an eye on this movie. One of the girls gets her blindfold off just in time for the movie's first money shot.
Ghosts?
We have got some serious dripping going on just to set that tone for you. And then we've got everything else that you would expect just to make it look that extra bit freaky. At least the mirror's not broken though. Oh wait, never mind, it's getting creepy. Of course it's getting creepy. To be real with you, I was a plonker at this moment. I seen Abel very clearly, and I kind of worked backwards from that, trying to work this out. And then I thought it was, Nick, you're able, as in you're able to do something. It took me far too long to just read the word incurable. I felt like I was on fucking Countdown, but hey, it's 9 letters, so I'm winning. Cut back to nighttime, I think. They started strong with the skylines in this movie, now I just have no idea. Someone puts the dress back and girl number 2 finds the key. So they've been changed and all their clothes now have letters on them. In movies like this, I can't help but make a Saw comparison, and I was just thinking of Saw 2. You know when they've all got the combinations to the safe written on all of their necks and like combined, that's what you need? I thought it was going to go for the same sort of vibe here. We'll see where it goes. We've got 5 girls and an E so far. My money at this point was well and truly on cured. We see more of the old pictures littering the walls, showing how messed up this place was. She spies the weak spot and we get our first impossible camera of the movie. Come on, Isaiah, this has given me everything I wanted from a movie like this. She very slowly breaks free and she's not sure whether to go up or down. Judging by her attitude earlier in the movie, I thought she would have had no doubt about going down. We get a glimpse of somebody upstairs. Holy hell, that woman hangs herself like a boomerang on Instagram, and her girl here just dips hard. These chaps are setting up more cameras. Soul Patch is an angry worker and Sideburns is watching from the control centre. I don't know their names just yet, so we're going with Sideburns and Soul Patch.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Cut back over to the sexy party. Seriously, my Kentucky offer is still open. I genuinely looked it up at this point in the movie. Tell me that this guy is not Vaughn from Community.
Man, if I had a nickel for every time I wish somebody asked me that.
I mean, he's not Vaughn from Community, his name's Richie here, but my god, he looks like the double of him. It's like buying Vaughn off Wish. I wonder if he's got tiny nipples as well.
It's just inspiring.
Ashley storms out past our main girls and we get more of that slow-mo for no reason.
But it's not that easy. We have a special initiation process for you this year.
Watch it, bitch.
So this party was a selection process to pick the 5 girls. It's starting to make sense now why we keep cutting back to it. Not that I minded. Did you pick up on all that? Because I was really trying to make the connection between the sexy party and the asylum this whole time.
You make me sick. No, I make you sick.
This hulking brute creeps them out while the girls get their blindfolds off. Oh, so we've got a H here. So we've got a H, we've got an E. Not sure what it's going to mean, but take a note so far. The girls just want to go home, understandably.
You are home.
Oh, well, never mind then. We get more generic cuts to creep you out, and then we get the D. Not that D, that's what the girls are after. We mean a painted D. We've got another letter. The comms guy is just angry at the girls for being incurable now.
I hate all you incurable people.
It is hard to tell if it's the boys or it's a ghost talking to them throughout the movie. Someone here though tries to shining the door. They give up pretty quickly, I'm not gonna lie. What is the editing here? Like, they slow it down and then it cuts to normal and then it looks like they've used another take.
I'm never gonna get out of here.
This movie really is all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I low-key love it right now. She goes for the window, time is ticking down and night is coming, I think. She cuts herself and the door opens on up. More of the cuts again, and now we've got an A. So far we've got head. No wonder she chose to go down earlier. We cut on over to A, and she's got her blindfold off too eventually. A little bit less annoyed by the situation it seems though. We see this plague doctor looking guy and then what looks like a promo photo for Resident Evil 1. Like, it might not be exact from memory, but that is exactly what I remember when I think of Resident Evil 1. Wish Vaughn heads into the control room and we cut back to the party setting up the night.
Gio? Where the fuck are you, man? Tell him, Don!
5 lucky contestants will be chosen to spend the night in a place of unimaginable terror.
Anybody can scare these girls. It's a piece of fucking cake.
Ashley here though is on the aggressive.
You really know how to show a girl a good time.
Scariest place on earth.
Are you kidding me? Where did you find this place? Another one of your family's twisted secrets?
Like, really on it. She is airing out all the drama.
Hey, what's with that skank Heather? I see the way you've been looking at her.
You know, sometimes
I wonder why I ever picked a loser like you anyhow.
Oh, and before we cut on, one last thing to bear in mind.
You'll never see these again.
Oh, I have a feeling we will in a movie like this, eh? I have a feeling. One final letter is written. We have a T, so we have Theed. No, it's not a death. Death, of course it is. We've got death written across our 5 girls. Our main girls are wandering around and Heather gets those flashbacks from 20 minutes ago, our time. Something spooky is going on. So at this point I genuinely thought I need to look up the names of the characters in the movie because I only knew Heather so far and it was going to be confusing just calling them by letter. It turns out we have Devon, Elizabeth, Ashley, Tori and Heather. I see what you did there, movie. Very clever. It makes my life a hell of a lot easier now anyway. Ashley wanders in for a shower and strips on off. Okay, she whips out the pups far quicker than I would have guessed, even in a movie like this.
God, you are killing me with that booty.
Like, we knew it would happen, but not this quickly. She really didn't mean what she said earlier.
You'll never see these again.
She is seeing ghosts and the water just sucks back up. She's getting gunged Kids' Choice Award style, like it's proper gunging her. Oh, never mind, she's clean now, it was all in her head. Not that Vaughn would have noticed either way, I mean, he had his focus elsewhere. Now we're wandering back around the asylum, and why is there always just an abandoned wheelchair in like the middle of halls in abandoned asylums and facilities? Every time, without fail, there is a wheelchair just sitting there in the middle. I never understand it in movies, because if you think about it, if there was a mad dash for everyone to escape, somebody was in a wheelchair and left it in the middle of the hall, if they need the chair, they'd be faster just using it to escape. Wouldn't they? I overthink a lot in movies, I really do. Anyway, back to the movie. Heather and Tori are just navigating this place while Heather is getting some weird flashbacks. Tori looks concerned, and I mean like really concerned.
what is with you? This is where she died.
The elevator dings and they dip. Nurse Ghost is here.
There's a way out.
Tori starts hearing some real creepiness.
Someone's making breakfast. I don't smell anything. Pancakes and syrup. Oh, Annie. They're making sweet potato pie. Can't you hear the train?
And if that accent won't freak you out, that stare bloody will. Heather snaps her out of it and they get a move on. They've got some sweet potatoes to find.
Silly. I was with you.
Ghost Nurse is watching though, and just in case you missed it, they zoom in for you. That isn't me editing that, that is the movie doing that for you. Just so you know, she's still there. Checking back in on Elizabeth, and Ghost Nurse is here too. She is really getting about the halls here. We get some cartoon good smell effect. Like, does that say to you that there's a ghost coming, or does that say to you there's a cartoon pie on a windowsill cooling down somewhere?
No, you don't.
Elizabeth just misses the scares and we move on to Devon. The locker pings open and she heads for it while Elizabeth is in a lab with just all weird things. We see that locket from the intro in the locker and we get a flashback to a woman doing her lippy. This lab though is just full of all things fucked up. A ghost runs on through and Elizabeth well and truly shits herself. She drops a beaker, which I think has like reduced gravity on it because it does take a second to fall. Devon though just grabs her new look from the locker and sets off to find a changing room because she's not getting changed here. She has some decency, people. We get a long zoom in on these nurses which definitely look like real people. Back to Tori and Heather on their sweet potato hunt.
See, Heather, you are such a space sometimes.
Oh, you can't say that, Tori. At least your accent masks most of it. Careful though. The door obviously slams shut and the girls here are now separated and on their own. Vaughn heads outside and the sky is moving fast. I don't quite know the poem for that. You know, red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Sky's moving quick, it's gonna be shit, I don't know. We get 4 ghost puppies heading for Ashley and they vanish. Maybe not. In either case, she is on the run and Vaughn is making his way into her. I checked this bit a few times and I swear they used the same shot even though he's on a new floor. Like, this is him turning one of the corners and this is him going up the next corner. It's the same shot. Looping shots aside, he finally makes it to the roof and for no fucking reason decides to practice his long jump and just crashes through the roof. Creepy ghost is wandering around the halls before we're back with Elizabeth. She is now the one seeing some mad stuff. It looks like patient 0 for the White Plague. You remember, the romantic disease of course. Somebody is coming for her and they offer up what looks like a medicine ball, I think. Elizabeth is on edge and against her better judgment she eventually picks it up before we cut over to this holy hell CGI playground. The girl in the window here is calling us in whilst Elizabeth is just playing passes with somebody. It floats about for a bit and then she freaks out when the ball flies away. Like, the ball floating around didn't bother you or strike you as a bit odd. Really? She takes off for her safety on the hunt for Devon. More impossible cameras and Devon breaks in. Maybe not. Sorry, I jumped ahead there. Prepare yourself. Sick transition incoming.
Remember, 5 floors, 5 girls, 5 hours.
Heather is on the move for Tori now. finally. It's taken her way too long to do this. The editors must have really struggled with this one. Look carefully here, because it isn't one continuous shot. That kind of film grain look pauses, so they've used a still image here. Why are you making this harder than it needs to be? Cut over to some rubble and Vaughn is recovering from his newly made sky door. Again, I didn't edit this. The movie sped him up like that. It looks weird, doesn't it? Like, at first I thought the movie was slowing people down to pad out the runtime, but then they speed people up in other scenes for no reason. It must all balance each other out in the end, so why do either? We see it is snowing now, and you can tell because there is very clearly snow falling, of course. And I'm not gonna lie, I quite like this here, because normally it's a footprint in the snow, whereas here it is like footprints made of snow. It was a cool flip on it. I cannot believe I'm giving this movie credit. We get some ghost bathing, but this one's wearing that necklace.
Attention, quarantine has been broken.
Not that you notice, because this one's got her Caspers out too. There is a cart coming for Heather, and that hulking brute is pushing the trolley fast. Then we just cut back to that patient zero looking woman with the necklace. What the fuck is going on at this point? I thought it was all white plague on her earlier. It's snow. That was my bad movie. Sorry. Well, mostly snow anyway. She's a bit plaguey. Heather grabs the necklace and she vanishes. The voiceover just reminds us yet again a bit of an update on the asylum.
5 floors, 4 girls, 4 hours.
They really like this whole 5 girls, 5 floors thing, don't they? Heather is getting flashbacks to everything now. She has what I definitely think is just the shine. She whips out the axe before giving the door one final smash. Cut back over to Tori now, who is still making her way through, but it seems like she's contracted the black lung. That swing jazz and those ghostly conversations get a bit too much for her though.
How
could you? I loved you.
You're infected.
A baby cuts right through the noise like it would on any fucking airplane. The narrator though calls it out as her baby.
Your baby is crying.
Again, what the fuck is going on? Heather's coming down the stairs, wedding aisle style, and Tori is just continuing to be tormented. We eventually land in some kind of operating room, it looks like. We get some more of the standard but weird things dotted around the room. Like, at first these weird things were really weird, but the more the movie keeps doing it, they're just becoming standard. Tori finds herself a new wardrobe to wear alongside that necklace, and off she goes. This necklace had been reminding me of something all movie, and it just clicked for me in this moment. It's her boy Scoob's collar. Heather seems to have just given up looking at this point, while Tori is slipping into something a bit more comfortable. Whoa, she is pregnant very fast. That was pretty messed up, I'll give you that movie. You're still in a minus though, but there's a little bit more credit. It's more so messed up because we do this slow zoom pan on this like old school drill. You can only imagine the implications of that being the focus, do you know what I mean? Vaughn is on the hunt for Ashley, and if you remember the intro to the movie, yeah, you can kind of guess where this is going to go. Heather is breaking down the door that Ashley is trying to get through, I think. It's really weirdly edited for there to be no mention of it. She finds that trusty weapon from the start of the movie and she is ready to jump a ghost. She activates Fury mode, and who does she get? It's fucking Devon. Although it does seem like somebody else killed her as well, because Ashley's still holding the glass and we see the glass in her neck. So did the ghost jump in? We're back over to Vaughn, and at this point he's just ran out of stamina before bumping into Tori.
Oh God, you scared the shit out of me. Come on, we gotta get out of here.
I'm so sorry, Richard. I didn't mean it.
Oh my God, I forgot about your accent. Tori starts giving this weird pregnant stare and wants Vaughn's help to get rid of the baby.
Help me get rid of it.
When I was writing my notes at this point, at first I thought she was trying to be super sexy about it. Not that pregnant ladies can't be sexy, but you know what I mean. No, she went a full 180 in that moment. Yeah, she wants rid of it and it became really fucked up. So with Vaughn ready to help, he wants to get her away and get her the much needed medical attention she needs. But she does not want to go to a hospital.
Everything's gonna be fine, but we gotta go find the others. We need to get out of here. We need to get you to a doctor.
No!
She just needs Vaughn to help her.
You're the one who's always taking care of me. Don't take that away as well.
She starts fading back into the green screen before going all exorcist. She jumps back at us now, bleeding and holding that drill. Fucking hell, that is not cranberry sauce, is it? Vaughn, more than understandably, runs off and continues his search for Ashley.
Where's everybody?
He stumbles across Devon and we get a flashback to him picking her for the initiation.
Devon, come on up!
He spots the necklace and quite clearly it means something before Devon is just ripped away entirely. Can we get an update, please, narrator?
5 floors, 3 girls, 3 hours.
Thanks, man. Vaughn eventually finds Ashley, but she is just having none of it.
Not your precious Heather, it's me, remember, your fucking girlfriend!
She's a very aggressive young lady. Heather walks in, axe in hand, and creeps everybody out, which is, of course she does. Vaughn tries calming her down and emotions are running high at this moment.
They're dead! What part of dead don't you fucking understand? That she killed them!
She breaks out that necklace and Vaughn looks stunned by this, but not as much as Ashley does.
What the fuck is that?
We learn that Heather's mum gave her that necklace as a hand-me-down from her grandmother. So you got the necklace if you were admitted to this hospital and you were infected. Not gonna lie, it's better than those little plastic straps the NHS give you. You know, that button that just cannot pop back open. I'll take a necklace. Heather just starts laying down all of the plot for us, and fucking thank you, Heather. We really needed it at this point.
It's just around Elizabeth's neck. These are the initials of that place. Don't you get it? We're in that hospital. We're all related to someone who was here. This is fucked up.
They all just kind of look at each other for a while here, not gonna lie. Like, they just keep on looking. And then eventually we get this bombshell.
Initials stand for Richard James Vanguard. I guess you could say that my grandfather's a lunatic that used to run this place.
Vaughn, Richie, whoever you are, the fuck, man? Ashley makes one last stand to keep Vaughn.
Richie is mine, and I'm not letting him go. Not even over my own dead fucking body.
She's heading off and oh shit, she is zapped.
Ashley, don't!
Maybe she really did have a spark in her eye for him. Hulking Brute appears once again with his little car and our duo dip. Now movie, will you please do me a favour and cue the 90s kids animated show intro theme for me? They dip into our room and I'm not gonna lie, this looks like an awful hiding space. Look at them, they're peeking up and moving and all sorts. Hulking Brute is searching though. He doesn't see anything, so he's backing up his little cart. He really can move that cart better than I can do a trolley at Tesco's. What are the fucking chances that he's got the cart with all 4 working wheels? I'm not buying it. Heather realises though that they are in the records room and she starts looking for something. Are we really to believe that it wasn't all burnt down just because of those clipboards facing this way? She reads up on the plot of this movie basically, and it's what we got at the start just with some weird imagery over it. So it's like the characters now caught up to us as the audience. It's weird. She freaks out at Vaughn for just knowing his family's history and orchestrating this whole thing.
You knew all along, and you still brought us here? How could you do that?
Look, no one was supposed to get hurt. This was just a setup.
To be fair to him, he probably didn't think ghosts were real though. Like, he just wanted to spook people for initiation. It's not his fault that ghosts are also real. Vaughn though just drops a bomb on us.
This was all Ashley's idea. I had nothing to do with this. Not a goddamn thing. Her family owns this place, this hospital, everything, and it's worth millions. I had nothing to do with this.
And then these two just keep getting louder and louder.
How could you do that?
Oh no, I'm nothing like him! I'm nothing like him! I had nothing to do with this!
They were hiding less than a couple of minutes ago, and now this?
Oh no, I'm nothing like him!
Good strategy, guys. You're not going to be found. Hulking Brute has no idea. Vaughn is just giving us a lot right now.
One of the nurses. She contracted the disease and she hung herself, alright? But she didn't die. Her best friend came in and finished the job.
Good best friend right there. His hair here does not help the tensity of the scene.
The other one what?
Like, look at his eyes through his hair. Looks like he's scanning the room, Squid Game style, for anyone that moves, if you know what I mean.
People with boss eye are routinely discriminated against. Just like any form of discrimination, it should be stopped.
Something in this place remembers. And it's fucking pissed off. We're reliving its past.
Now that was a lot of information. Are you guys ready for the final push of the movie? Narrator, update please.
5 floors, 2 girls, 2 hours.
Thanks, bro.
More tragedy linked to Vanguard Sanitorium. 괶ɪᴍᴜᴜᴜ, a nurse stationed on the 5th floor from Mills, Kentucky, jumped off the roof to her death. She had been severely depressed about being pregnant out of wedlock.
Get rid of it. This is where she died.
Oh, for God's sake, more exposition. Finally, we are setting off for Tori now. She is up on the roof like the nurse was back in the day. They are running for the roofs and the TVs just come on out of nowhere. And then suddenly, like, all urgency is gone for Tori.
We're live via satellite from hell.
Okay, they're back to running now, and they make it just in the nick of time.
Oh my God, don't do it!
She is living out as the nurse, and Vaughn is now here to save her.
Adrian, come. You still love me.
I love you so much. I swear to God, everything's gonna be just how it was, I promise.
It's all going well until, very sadly, that mannequin falls to its death. Sorry, Tori, it's very clearly a person. What's left now, my man?
5 floors, 1 girl, 1 hour.
Ah, he's always got my back. He's like an Alexa timer. Our 2 are booking it to the exit until they run into old granddaddy Von Ghost. We actually get talking to this ghost though, for better or for worse.
How could you let them all die?
By giving them a quick, easy death instead of a slow, agonizing decay of disease.
What you really want is more of a Savannah accent, which is more like molasses just sort of spilling out of your mouth.
We learn that Heather is ill.
Choking you from inside, squeezing the blood up into the brain until it explodes.
Hey, leave her alone! I'm disappointed in you, my own flesh and blood.
Did the injector was something, or is the ghost just kind of fucking with us? We don't really know for sure at this point. Looking back, the hulking brute was only appearing when somebody died, and now he's just kind of following her around. I mean, he might as well, there's only one left at this point. We cut over to see the brute making his way through the empty halls. It feels like there was a deleted scene here, because suddenly Vaughn wakes up in a bed, which I don't get. The last we seen, they were running away safely, so were they caught somehow? And then it begs the question, if it is a deleted scene, what the fuck did this movie cut out compared to what they left in? Do you know what I mean? He's looking for Heather, and he first goes to the very clear brunette. Fuck's sake, Vaughn. We find Soul Patch is here too, so his story came full circle, kind of. It never really started. Vaughn is really struggling to find Heather. He isn't just uncovering them all for his own curiosity, by the way. He keeps saying Heather whilst looking for her. He does eventually uncover her, but he is too late. Oh no, she's alive. Oh, kind of.
You gotta go.
I'm
We gotta get out of here. He's coming back.
Cheers for just coughing all over Vaughn though, girl. Like, that's very nice of you. They are going for that sneak skill while just passing by the hulking brute. The duo here come up with one last plan.
Oh, good.
Vanguard said the only way out of here was death. The only way out of here is the death tunnel.
Ah, he said it. To be fair, it took them fucking long enough. Like, this movie is based on it and named after it. And this is the first time we're talking about the tunnel itself, not just the asylum. Heather is just the worst companion.
Train, we gotta go.
No, I can't leave.
Yes, you can. Come on. It's almost over.
I need our help.
Like, if this was a video game, I would be letting her die many times. I might not pass the mission, but just for my own pleasure and sanity. They eventually get past all of the Halloween decorations and we see an exit. Uh-oh, Brute is not stopping yet. We finally learn who he is.
Here, I am God. I am life. I am death.
Well, maybe not. The fuck does that mean? We get some more weird editing and they just run. Heather continues to be the worst sidekick.
Listen to me. I belong here.
They keep on running though, they reach the end and we all get blinded. Flashback to the start of the movie and her mum was a ghost all along, I think.
This is where she died.
Who died?
Me.
It's really hazy, but quite clearly Heather's gran was the nurse or her mum was dead all along. Something like that. She's connected to this place. Heather does a quick change and Vaughn comes back for one final kiss. Vaughn, your girlfriend just died, man. Read the room. I mean, it is the romance disease for a reason after all, so maybe he can't help himself. And then we come down to just one final decision.
It's settled then. Come on, we're gonna find the cure.
I'm sorry, fucking what? Even if she does have the white plague, you think there's more likely a chance the cure is in this run-down asylum than, you know, an actual fucking hospital? Vaughn, you have tested my patience. We get one last shot before a credit smash cut. During the credits though, we do pay tribute to those lost souls. What is this movie? I cannot understand it. Isaiah was right, it's like a fever dream. We then just see that the movie itself is basically just playing out again over the credits, just in case you maybe wanted to watch it again. Maybe just the sexy party bits. Seriously, last chance, Kentucky. Who's up for it? And that was Death Tunnel. As I said, this is a movie I had never heard of before, and I am so glad I watched it. As bad as this movie was, I had a great time watching it. It's this type of movie that is just perfectly balanced for me and what I enjoy. By no means is it a good movie, but it's also not so dreadful that I can't have fun with it and have a laugh at it. Do you know what I mean? So if you know any movies that kind of fill that void between being honestly terrible, but you can have a good time. If you know any movies that have this kind of watch party vibe to it, let me know, because if you can think of any that are like on level with Death Tunnel here, I would be all ears for it. But what did you think? Have you seen this movie before? Have you maybe heard of it through its lore? It is these types of movies that to me seem unknown, never heard of them in my life. But then you'll get comments from people saying that they've seen it before or they read up about it in school. It's weird how some things travel. Let me know if you enjoyed this one or if you've got any other similar type movies for me to watch next. And before heading off, if you've enjoyed what I've done here, hit that like button, it really helps push this out to more people. And whilst you're down there, if you have not yet, hit subscribe. It really does make my day when I see that, and it does help out this channel more than you know. Anyway, with all that being said, that was the breakdown of Death Tunnel, and thank you so much for watching.